Hi y'all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, we are talking about my 1-year anniversary. I have been on YouTube for exactly, or give or take a few days. I have been on YouTube for a year, which is wild to me because it does not feel like it's been a year. I still feel very new to this whole thing. But yeah, it's been a year. And I just want to talk to you guys about some of the things that I've learned in my 1 year on YouTube. And if you're thinking of starting a channel, or if you already have a channel and you've just started, or you're just curious about, you know, the lessons that I've taken away from this 1 year here on the YouTubes. Let's get into it. So the first thing I would say that I learned is that consistency is key. I have tried to be as consistent as possible, give and take a few missed uploads for, you know, life circumstances. And then there was the time that I got the Rona back at the end of 2021. We're not going to talk about that though. We're not going to do that. But consistency is key, and that's something that I have tried to maintain as much as possible. It's really just about two main things. It's about the YouTube algorithm. It's about having consistency for your audience so that they know, you guys know when I'm uploading and you can expect it and be around to watch. So yeah, I've tried to maintain some consistency. I went from 2 days a week to 3, which I will admit has been a bit of a struggle for me recently because I started a new job. So that, even I might change the days at some point, but I'm going to try to stick with 3-day upload schedule because I know you guys enjoy it and I actually like it as well. I wish I could do more. Maybe one day if, my channel grows enough where I'm able to do this, as, a job, maybe not full time, but as an actual job, because as of right now, I don't make any money from doing this. This is all me on my free time, sitting in front of the camera, talking to you guys. So if comes a point where I can do that and I can afford to do that, I would love to. I'm a YouTube fan, watcher as much as I am a YouTuber. And I enjoy when people that I really like upload, on a, fairly regular basis. So I'm doing 3 days a week as of now. And hopefully in the future I could do more. But yeah, that is the thing that I have learned and that has been sort of drummed into my head by other YouTubers that, who have been so lovely in their advice. Hannah Louise Poston being one of them. Some of you guys have found my channel from Hannah. She's actually been such a great resource for me in the beginning of starting this channel because I was very nervous and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And she was so incredibly helpful, and that's one of the main things she said to me, is that consistency was key. So that stayed with me, and I have tried to stick with that as much as I possibly can, given how, life can be sometimes. But yeah, consistency is key. The next lesson that I've learned, and this is one that I feel like people aren't as honest about sometimes when they're giving advice on YouTube. I hear so many people say, oh, you can film with your phone, you can do it you don't need a bunch of fancy equipment. And while that's true, and it's especially true if you don't do beauty content, I think if you don't do beauty content, using your phone to film with is perfectly fine. If you're not doing something that people need to have really clear, close-ups and zoom-ins and things like that, I think that's fine. But if you are doing beauty YouTube, I do think equipment matters. I just do. I've invested a lot of money into this channel, just getting it started. Like even before I sat down to record my first video, I had purchased a new camera and a microphone and lights and all of these things that you need so that people can get enjoyment out of your channel and your content. Because, I try to look at it as when I sit down to watch YouTube, what am I interested in seeing? And will I honestly be able to sit through a video that doesn't have those things where I feel like I'm not able to enjoy the content that is on my screen. It is, I will say, to grow as you can. Like, you don't have to spend a lot of money at the beginning. I say the main thing that you need is good lighting and a good camera. For me, those are the things that I had the camera. I struggled with lighting because I live in an apartment that doesn't get a lot of natural light. So for me, the lighting has been the struggle. And that goes into my next lesson, which is lighting is important. Lighting is important, guys. My lighting has sort of grown over time. I started with one dinky light, and then I had a ring light, and then now I have 2 lights behind me and a light here, and I'm probably at some point going to upgrade and get, some other more sophisticated lighting. Lighting matters, and it's still a struggle for me. I mean, it's a learning curve, but I think it's important to know, if you're starting a channel, that is a beauty channel specifically, that to try to make sure that you have 3 good light sources, 1 in the front, 2 in the back, or from the side. It just helps. It just helps. Next lesson is growth is hard. A lot of people say on YouTube that, oh, the hardest thing is getting your, and I'll break it. If for people who don't know, I will give you the scoop, the tea, whatever you want to know. To grow on YouTube, or to become officially monetized or part of their YouTube, YouTube partner program, which is where you actually make money off of the ads that are run on your channel. As of now, I'm not a member of that because I haven't met that number yet. But on YouTube, you have to have, I think, 4,000 watch hours and like 1,000 subscribers. I'm not quite at 1,000 subscribers yet. I have 4,000 watch hours. And so for that, I say to you guys, thank you so much. But I haven't reached the 1,000 subscriber goal, and it's hard. I think growing on YouTube was easier beforehand than it is now, especially when it comes to beauty content. A lot of people say, oh, the beauty community is dying, but I don't necessarily think that. I think the beauty community is changing. It's in flux, and I happen to have come into it around the time of that flux, so maybe that wasn't the best time, but at the same time, it was the best time for me. And so I have to sort of gauge, making content that you guys enjoy, but also making sure that I'm making content that allows me to grow. Which again segues into the next lesson, which is what you think people will like is not always what they like. My channel has been very interesting. It's been a really interesting journey. Is that I started off really wanting to do more review content than I actually wound up doing, because I decided to go on a no buy for 3 months. And that was for 2 reasons. Is I had a lot of makeup, and my financial situation had completely shifted because I had completely shifted what I was doing for a living. And so as a result, I had to really think realistically for my own self and my own life, how I wanted to spend money. And so I made a decision to not do that, and to try to create content that didn't require me to spend money, and to also help you guys, if you didn't want to spend money at that moment, what you could do to sort of be inspired by your own makeup. And that's why I say that in my intro, is that I like talking about makeup. I love trying new makeup, but I also love talking about the makeup that I own, because I do find it inspiring for myself. And if that's something, I feel like that's something that people who have been watching beauty YouTube for years, who own a lot of makeup, who understand makeup, I don't feel like a lot of you are coming to my channel as like makeup newbies. I think a lot of you are quite sophisticated, and you understand makeup, and you have makeup. And maybe it's just that you're at the point where I am, where there are things that I want to purchase, but I'm also well aware that I have an incredible amount of makeup. And so anything I purchase needs to be something that will integrate into my collection in a usable and viable way, and isn't just something that's going to wind up sitting there and collecting dust. And so for me, I was making a lot of content around being inspired by a collection, which is great, but it is not necessarily content that a lot of people like to see. Most people do want to see reviews of new things, which again, it's not something that I'm never going to do, and that's something that I probably will do, especially towards the end of the year when we get to the Black Friday sales, because that tends to be honestly when I would shop the most for makeup anyway. So for me, I've often had the strategy of like, there's a lot that I want, but I'll wait for it all to go on sale. Am I the only one? I don't think so. But yeah, I wanted to create a channel that was sort of a balance between those two. And as a result, the growth for my channel has just been slower. It's just a fact. And it's something that I've just had to sort of accept. But I also want to make sure that I have, you know, a community here, and that I want to make sure that I'm creating fun content for you guys, and because you're here, and I want to thank you for being here, and I want to make sure that you are engaged and enjoying what I'm producing. So thank you guys for all of you guys who have subscribed this year. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that I hope that you're enjoying the content that I am creating, which goes into my next lesson, which is community is key. It's so fun for me when I post a video and I see the same people in my comments and we get into little conversations. It's a lot of fun. It's good to have. I've always been on the other side of that. I've always been like, you know, the person who's commenting on my favorite YouTubers' videos and having a conversation with them. So I understand how much fun it is to be engaged with someone whose content you consume on a regular basis. And so even though I've been really busy lately because my schedule has completely changed. I've been trying to be as present in my comments as I possibly can right now. And because I want to make sure that you guys understand that I am reading your comments and that I enjoy you replying. It's why I mention at the end of my videos, because I want us to have conversations in the comments and have fun. But yeah, it's been fun to watch this little community here, this little baby community, you know, grow and sort of shape. And it's fun to see the people who are drawn to my channel, because you guys are such a diverse crowd, and that's really exciting to me. That's what I wanted. I want a community that is diverse and interesting and fun, and who enjoys makeup just as much as I do. So next lesson is, and this is that editing is a learning process. No, I mean, I know the basics of editing, and I wish my editing skills were better than they were. I feel like they're better than they were at the very, very beginning, but they're not, the learning curve has been pretty steep for me, and it probably will be. Editing is not my strong suit, and it's something that I wouldn't say I struggle with now, but it's not my favorite thing to do, because I would love to do more of the fancy edits. I'm just not that skilled at it, guys. I'm just not. And, you know, I often watch videos and I see people doing really fun things, and I'm like, damn, I want to do that. And eventually I think I'll probably take a class on editing. But yeah, editing is a learning process. I think I look at my older videos and I'm like, wow, that was really bad. My editing now, it's okay. It's not amazing. It's okay. It's better than it was, but it's not as good as it could be. And, you know, that's just sort of, for me, because I'm the type of person who wants to know it all at once. You know, I'm not very good at the learning process of things. I just want to get there and be great at it. Doing YouTube has really sort of driven home the lesson of really being present on the journey, you know, as far as your filming getting better, your editing getting better, your sound getting better, all of those things, because it is a lot to sort of figure out as you go. And the great thing about YouTube is there are a ton of resources on YouTube for that type of thing. And I've definitely been sort of like, you know, soaking it in and listening to people and finding ways to incorporate it into my particular channel, into my particular niche. But yeah, editing is hard, guys, and it is a learning process. It is. And I hope that I will get better, and maybe one day you'll see really fancy edits on here and it'll be amazing. In that vein of editing as a learning process, thumbnails are a PETA. PETA, if you know what PETA stands for pain in the ass. Thumbnails, guys, they're like this weird social experiment. It's like, it's the fight of your aesthetic. And this, if you see my hand looking like this, I just filmed a video about all of my favorite fall lipsticks, and I just completely forgot to wipe my hand. So, a preview, maybe, you know? But thumbnails are like a weird social experiment in the sense that, like, you have your like goals and like not goals, your aesthetic, how you want your thumbnails to be and your vibe. And then you have this whole idea of that thumbnails have to pull people in. And there's a struggle, because my aesthetic with thumbnails is very sleek, it's very minimal, but it's not, that's when you're a growing channel, that's not really what catches people's eye. So you kind of, it's this weird like dance or battle between wanting it to be one way and knowing that you need a thumbnail that will actually, you know, people will actually be interested and click on because it's colorful and it's got fun words and it says things and all of that. Thumbnails are a pita. I'm hoping that, again, like editing, they will become easier for me, but I've just been experimenting with them because, again, I'm a newer channel in the sense of like I'm a year old and I'm still growing, and I feel like it's okay to experiment. And that gets me into my second to last point, which is experimenting is okay, because for a long time was like, I can only do one thing, and only one type of content about makeup, or one type of content in general. And when I started my channel, I knew I wanted to make a beauty channel, but there are so many other things that I'm interested in that I watch on YouTube all the time. I love fashion videos and history videos, and I'm really into pop culture, and I'm really into, like, I'm a nerd, which a lot of people don't. I don't know if you guys guessed that. I mean, I'm sitting here in a Miss Minutes t-shirt, so that doesn't give it away. So I would love to do more content incorporating other things. And I plan on doing that because I do believe experimenting is okay. And I think it's important. I think it's important for me to keep myself engaged in what I'm doing and excited about what I'm doing, but also because you guys are, like I said, you're my community, and I want to show you more of who I am outside of just makeup. So I'm thinking that eventually I would want to do maybe a series, incorporate like little videos here and there. We could talk about pop culture or movies and things like that while I do my makeup. I think that would be so much fun. Right now, if you just want to know, just giving you the lowdown so you know what I'm up to when it comes to the content that I'm consuming. I am loving the new Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power series. I've seen both the first 2 episodes, which is, I think, the ones that are out as of the time I'm filming this. I am loving She-Hulk. Loving She-Hulk. Ms. Marvel, which was the last Marvel show, was Chef's Kiss. I'm really excited for Wakanda Forever. The trailer makes me bawl every time I see it. Thor, Love and Thunder. It could have been better, but I don't dislike it. I just get a little angry when I find out about all the things they left on the cutting room floor. Then I get a little salty. So that's like a little encapsulation of what I am consuming right now. And that kind of gives you an idea. Oh, Sandman. I also want to talk about the Sandman. Obsessed. I think I'm going to rewatch the entire series. If you haven't seen the Sandman adaptation, the Sandman series on Netflix, it's honestly one of the best shows, one of the best shows I've seen in a while, and specifically one of the best Netflix shows I've seen in a while. It is so good. And the bonus episode 11, chef's kiss. Okay, and so to wrap up this video, I have one final lesson that I've learned, and is this may sound a little, I'm gonna give context, but it's not as easy as it seems. YouTube isn't hard, but it isn't easy. Does that make sense? It's very time consuming if you are committed to it. I mean, if you're someone who just makes a video once a month and you're fine with that, but if you're someone who's committed to growing your channel and you want to put out consistent content, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of editing. I spend hours editing. I spend, hours filming. And those aspects of it are things that I knew in my head, but you don't really know until you start doing it. And so if you have a YouTuber that you follow who uploads 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, the amount of work that they are doing, guys, is insane. And now, again, like I said, doing YouTube you're not a doctor. I'm not delivering babies. I'm not curing cancer. I'm not even comparing it to that. But I'm letting you know, especially if you're interested in starting a channel and you have, which I'm assuming you do, you have a job, you have other things going on in your life, you have to sort of incorporate YouTube into. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of, the other day I was going to go out for the weekend, it was Labor Day weekend. I was going to go out, but I had to edit. So I actually canceled my plans because I had 3 videos to edit. And I just didn't have time. So you find yourself making sacrifices in ways, like when it comes to your time, as things that you just don't have time to do. I didn't have time to go to the movies on Saturday. I had to edit. So I wound up not doing that. But I've made that choice and I've made that commitment to growing this channel and putting out content for you guys. Again, like I said, right now my schedule is so weird. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate my new work schedule with not only YouTube but just like living my life, and it's a lot. So so for me, it's, yeah, like if I'm not working, I'm either filming and editing, or I'm doing something like I need to do laundry, or I need to go to the grocery store, I need to pick up cat food, I like things like that. And so it's a lot as far as navigating your life and incorporating these things that can be quite time consuming. I do try to batch film. It's been really hard for me to do so these past like month, which I hate. And batch filming is when you film multiple videos at once, because it just makes it easier. So I can film multiple videos and then I can edit, and then I don't have to worry about it so much. And I was able to do that when I was working exclusively from home. I'm not anymore. And so it's, you know, it's added, you know how it is when you go back to the office, and as so many people are doing now, the time just goes, it just goes. And it's been annoying because I haven't been able to batch film like I used to. And so that's been quite stressful for me, because I don't like that. I don't like filming on the day and then uploading, but I've been doing that a lot because I just haven't had the time to batch film. So yeah, it's not as easy as it seems. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's not as easy as it seems. Guys, so that is my 1 year on YouTube lessons I've learned. I hope you guys found this video interesting. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed, and all of you who have not subscribed but still watch my content. Thank you so much. Every little bit helps. Every watch, every comment, every subscriber helps. And I hope you enjoy the content that you've seen over this past year, and I hope that I'm going to be able to continue to create fun content for you guys. I have so many ideas, and I'm like I said, I'm navigating my schedule and trying to figure out how to do certain things, because I really want to for you guys. And so yeah, I have some fun ideas in the pipeline, and I hope you will continue watching and enjoying my content. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, guys, subscribe, yo. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.